That's
So we're
pretty
gonna see
dangerous into
how good this combo
Bloodseeker.
is. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, it's still Weehaw safe lane. So that to me shows that this is the recipe now. They are playing Weehaw safe lane, no matter what. If he's not playing his arguably best hero, and with Miracle also being a formidable Bloodseeker player, then they want Weehaw to play safe lane, at least for now. They're just doing it.
It's interesting. I do wonder if they're going to keep this long term, because I've told you this story before, but when we first had Weehaw come onto the DC squad, when that new team was kind of formed from the ashes of the old, if you will, Weehaw was actually the carry player and Resolution was the mid, because obviously Resolution was the mid prior to that.
Yeah.
And Weehaw played, it just didn't work, let's just say. He kept feeding on these heroes, and people were kind of getting upset with him because his playstyle can be kind of clowny at times, you know. So then they made the switch, and Resolution played the carry, and now that's basically what he plays all the time, right?
Yeah. Well,
so it's interesting how it's coming back to, it's kind of recycled again.
Yep.
Hopefully
Life is a wheel with many edges.
Wow, that's profoundly awful.
Thank you.
EA, honestly. The Empower is essentially, I want to say it's about half the effect on ally heroes now, what it used to be, or close to that at least. I mean, she'll still be able to farm and whatnot. It just feels like I don't know, she doesn't come online that quick. Like once you get like the Deso, it's just, you're not quite there yet still. You still need BKB. You still need all these items. Not a believer in this hero right now, but will only be proven wrong. I mean, what level is this sword? He has the lowest level Arcana sword, Cinder. Interesting. It doesn't show up on... It doesn't.
So
look
it's
like
actually not sad. Never mind. It's not sad at all.
This is the same level as me. I guess I'm pretty sad as well.
Can't say shad without sad, though.
Great one.
Okay, let's save us all. Okay, let's look at
let me ask you a question. The new Raindrop, it's not able to be upgraded at all. We've been seeing it purchased not as often, obviously, because it doesn't build into an urn, but the fact that it can't be upgraded, is this... Are you still going to see it consistently, you think?
It's better on every hero except the ones that buy urn, right? I think that's the short version. Mind Control.
Mind Control.
Kuro choosing... He's ice cold there not to skill stun, but I think he really doesn't want to have stun in this lane. He wants to have Wave of Terror, more than likely.
Viking gets 3 bounties.
The goal of the Venge Underlord lane is to push out the wave with Wave of Terror and Rain of Fire. Rain of Fire, holy shit. Firestorm. I'm back 15 years in my head. Right?
Warcraft 3!
You cast these 2 spells, you push out the wave, get the experience, and then you can back off. If you're facing a tri-lane, you need to find the experience somehow. If you can push it into the tower, they might push back into you, and that would be really good. So let's see.
I feel like Elder
trying
Titan in a
to bully.
tri-lane is really strong.
Yeah. There's the first spell.
They're going to battle right off the bat. Shad taking a lot of Firestorm damage. A tip from Weehaw.
GH's Spirit is crossing the entire map. That's why he wasn't so strong right now.
There it is. And now he is quite buff. Oh, cancels that auto attack though. Should obviously mention that Toby is the one that playing Magnus this time around, so it will not be. It will be. Who played it last game? It was the mid, right? Or am I crazy?
The Magnus? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was played by Tanner.
So I mean, he is solo right now, 1v1 against the Bloodseeker. As I don't want to miss any action in this tri-lane. Anything can happen.
I think this is a pretty Bloodseeker favored lane, by the way. If he goes the exact build he has with Blood Rage level 1, he should have a damage advantage.
Well, not to mention that in a tri-lane scenario, you're going to have a lot of heroes relatively low buffing that Bloodseeker.
Very true. Yeah.
Celery taking some more briefcase damage right now.
I think, again, Nigma are good at making these lane adjustments, similar to the Enigma versus Venomancer lane they had last game. They just identify, if this matchup is 1v1, we're happy, and we're going to play off it in both lanes. I see Weehaw possibly doubling up Magnus here while they can win the bottom tri-lane. Look at how low these bottom heroes are.
How much damage does Weehaw have?
Only attack speed, but it's a good amount.
Okay. Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Well, bottom lane, the Courier will be taken out by Kuroky. All right, that's a nice little bounty.
Did it deliver its regen? I think it didn't. They're starved down here on mine.
Taking so much damage. Echo Stomp though. is there for the extra CC. Howl of Terror on top of it. Shad might get right-clicked down by GH. He does. That is a crap ton of damage, my friends. And so far,
Kuro has
this tri-lane is a success for Team Nigma.
GH if he wants. He does want to.
There we go. Back to full HP, essentially.
It could be a blessing here, a bit in disguise for Viking that Shad died, because they need regen badly in order to play this lane. He only brought a salve, though, for the Tusk. This is not enough. And this courier that's trying to get regen in... Alright, there's the D-ward coming in from Celery's Sentry. Does he get gold for that if he plays the Sentry if he gets killed by the wave? I think he still does, right?
In theory, based on the wording, yes, he should. But I don't know if he actually does.
Get gold there? I don't know.
Huh. Instant replay time. We don't have that capability. Do you
remember when we did our...
yes. DAC. Anybody in chat remember that one? Oh man, that was classic.
Hilarious.
Cinderin was watching. I forget why this was set up, but you were watching on a slightly delayed stream while I was.
And then we could switch to my screen.
I kept missing kills over and over, so we would just look at the instant replay on your monitor. That was so good.
It was actually a very scuffed replay, but it worked.
Good old times. Bloodseeker, man, Weehaw is doing quite well right now. 13-9. Actually, it's relatively even so far, but I think he should gain the advantage the more levels he gets. Yeah, more denies for sure. We didn't talk about the mid lane, which we'll talk about briefly before we go back to the tri lane. Kunkka versus TA. Obviously, Tidebringer not doing a whole lot against TA, but if he's able to hit Torrent, that's a lot of instances of damage being able to take off Refraction. But I would assume TA favored still by a decent amount.
I think it's pretty even, and both heroes go jungle anyway. They push out the wave and then they go hit jungle camps, and they will both do that. You see Tanner right now already pushing into Miracle's tower. He starts to farm this big camp, and now Miracle's going to push into his tower. He's going to go back to the wave, and then come back for the Centaur later. And this back and forth will just keep happening for the first 10 minutes. Except
and
if
you can
there's
say the same for the off lane, right? Both Magnus and Bloodseeker can go jungle for a bit as well.
Yep, they can.
It's very nice.
Toby is going in for the other guy's jungle. Oh, that courier needs to be careful. And it is.
It is careful. I'm sticking to this tri-lane, by the way. I'm terrified. Oh! Ice Shard onto two heroes. GH gets the Echo Stomp off. He's just going to turn around and start beating the crap out of heroes, as Shad will be the first to fall. Elder Titan shortly after Aramis. Barely able to live, but he's providing a lot of attack speed for Bloodseeker now in the opposing lane.
And Kuro will get the bounty rune. I think Mind Control will get the other bounty rune. So 3 for 1 here for Nigma in terms of runes, as Toby gets one top in the river. Yeah, Nigma's game plan definitely once again coming along very nicely, just by virtue of setting the better lanes. And also these tri versus tri lane situations, they seem very comfortable with trading and playing around Elder Titan strength. Elder Titan is, in many ways, the single best tri-laner in the game when he hits level 3. It's just incredible how much damage you get out of the Astral Spirit. So,
yep, Elder Titan quite strong. A little bit surprised we didn't see it last game like we talked about. Ramus, he puts down a ward, but I'm pretty sure Miracle saw that and is probably pinging out the sentries now. Bottom lane, Mind Control continuing to spam the Firestorm. This is another great tri-lane hero in theory if you're able to get some levels. You can continually push the enemy under their tower as long as you can keep that mana capacity up. Yeah, I really like their lineup this game. I'm a big fan of these big, fat, beefy heroes, as you know. And even though I have a bias against ranged heroes, Vengeful Spirit's one of my favorites. In lane, anytime Miracle gets hit by the Kunkka ship, Kuroky is here, but Miracle is stuck in the Ice Shard.
He just got it!
Maybe fall, but the Refraction comes up at the last second. Rupture onto the Kunkka. Looks like he will get out, though. So no one actually dies, and a lot more TPs for Team Nigma. So I suppose that's a win for Viking. Although Kunkka does have to go back to base, and TA does not.
It's pretty even, I would say. TA and Venge can just go and share the shrine here, and then reset. And Weehaw, with his incredible move speed, is already back to top lane and actually bullying Toby back to his tower. So I think, again, you're okay with that for Nigma. Like, given how it started out, just the fact that TA doesn't die is a victory in itself. That looked very killable. But quick reaction from Kuro there saved his life. Ironwood Tree. Very nice recipe for Miracle. He already has 2 branches, so just buy another branch for the Sweet little upgrade.
Echo Stomp onto 2 in the bot lane into the Pit of Malice, and Celery is donezo. Not a whole lot his allies can do to help.
Okay, there's
on a Kuroky though. Their tag team is there, but the Echo Stomp again to fall. Buyback by Crystal Maiden. Very interesting. The Courier better be careful. Get that Beetle. They're going to focus on Kuroky instead, and he will fall. But Shad is stuck inside the Pit of Malice, but it looks like he might be okay. But GH is going to continue the pressure, and the right click is more than enough to follow up. So Celery's buyback not really worth it. It feels like. And Weehaw has TP'd in. Bloodright is there. Tusk is going to snowball in. Of course, Rupture is available, but they're next to their tower, so probably not running out.
That's a huge win for Nigma. They force the Kunkka TP, they get the kill, they get a Maiden buyback, and they get out. And the TA is just free farming in the meantime. And now Shad has been relegated to mid lane. He's level 4 against level 9 TA. I'm pretty sure that's not very fun, but fortunately Miracle will just push into the tower and just leave him be.
I mean, to be fair, well, we're going to see GH take the X into the boat, and that will finally be a kill going the way of Viking in this tri-lane. But Team Nigma, it looks like a totally different team today. And a lot of it has to do with, like you said, maybe changing things up with Weehaw being in the safe lane and Miracle back to his mid.
It has definitely helped them.
Looked much better.
It has absolutely helped them. Maybe it's just a short-term thing. You know, they got to make this qualification, and they will maybe work out the kinks later on if they do want to play Miracle in the safe lane. But perhaps they've also just changed their read on the patch to considering that maybe they feel like the mid lane is to carry this patch, and not the safe lane. And they put Miracle into the highest lane.
Shockwave, there's no RP. It's actually not lovely.
This is bad news
Gonna
for
get some help from
Viking.
Weehaw. Looks like they'll find that kill, and Kuroky might just get away fine. Toby ruptured up, skewers basically to his death. The counter is real. Weehaw with a double kill. This is one of the best starts he's had this entire qualifier.
For sure. He's far ahead of the mag right now, isn't he? Yeah, 1,000 gold. And TA is almost 1,000 ahead of Kunkka, and Underlord is also, I mean, literally every single hero on Nigma is ahead of the counterpart in the enemy team. No exceptions. They're winning every lane. Not by a landslide, but even just a few hundred gold on every hero, it very quickly becomes a big deal. Now it's time for the outposts. Looks like a classic 1-1 split. Viking is sending 4 heroes top, which they really don't need.
Was it a built-in comeback mechanics, Synderen, that Team Nigma is ahead, but they find the Iron Talon in the jungle, the worst of the items? Could it be that it's connected? Conspiracy theorist?
Who has
Tier 1 tower, taking a beating. TA found it originally, and we have
it's bad when the farming hero doesn't even want it.
Yeah, that is true. Kuroky, all right, he's kind of stuck inside these shards now, but he will get some help from Mind Control. Rupture has worn off on Tanner, and this fight might get into a denied tower, and it does, thanks to Kuroky. And things will be broken up completely now. GH has the Iron Talon, by the way. Use it. Use it. Yes!
Okay, he used it on the small creep that it will get regenerated to full. He just wanted to stack the camp. It doesn't matter. Still a fun
Backseat Dota here today from the great Cinderman.
Not very important. Oh, by the way, Fated Brooch is very good on Elder. Benefits from the move speed on the Spirit and has mana problems inherently. I think this might be one of the single best heroes you can get.
I didn't think about the Astral Spirit.
It's very good on Elder.
I mean, I feel like this, based on what we've seen, I know it's a small sample size, but this hero should be picked every game, or at least banned. Something. He's just completely owned. Of course, it is GH, so maybe he makes everything look good. Weehaw able to get this bottom outpost. It's only 11:45 though, so won't be getting that bonus quite yet. He's gonna get ganked. Weehaw gets off the Bloodright just in time, or does he? No, doesn't matter.
Okay, that was
overwhelmed by 4 members. Yes.
It showcased what the problem Tusk can have against Bloodseekers, though. Like, the very telegraphed snowball, he immediately Bloodrights and gets a 3-man silence. If he has teammates there, that could have gone real bad for Viking. Good scouting there with the shards. Oh, he actually blocked in Miracle.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Miracle in the Roche pit, has the Desolator ready to go along with that Ironwood tree that you were talking about. So a great start for him. Top of the net worth by a ginormous margin, by the way, just saying.
Yeah.
And it's felt like that has been every single game.
He has 160 CS min at 12. Holy shit. That's actually really high, even for TA standards.
Miracle things. Shad's still quite a ways away, about halfway to his Desolator, but I mean, I think that's when he starts fighting, but it's still really easy to kill, you know? I don't know about this hero. He needs like BKB after that and then maybe one item before he starts hitting real hard. And really the level 2 ult makes a big difference as well. But either way, Team Nigma will be getting this tier 1 tower bot. Absolutely no problem. Mind Control going for a Vanguard on top of the bracelet that he has right now.
Same build as last time. Drums. Vanguard after Mana Boots. And he will probably finish a Crimson against both PA and Kunkka. Seems very nice to just have mitigation for the team against tag team. All the physical damage coming out from Tusk. Seems like a solid choice. Weehaw
with a very utility build, of course. Buckler, drums, and going BKB, so absolutely no damage. But his spell is really the counter for this game.
They have so much damage across their lineup that I don't think Bloodseeker needs to buy physical damage yet. They have a TA, they have a Venge minus armor, they have an Underlord who hits hard, they have Elder Titan to remove the rest of the armor. Very potent physical damage.
And they can go for Roche pretty much any time now, I feel like, if they find the opening. Probably waiting for a pickoff or two. Get that little window. Or this DD. But GH will take it for himself. Time to Iron Talon jungle double damage his way to victory. If only that worked. What if it, with double damage, Iron Talon just killed creeps, Cinderin? It's a very minute thing, right? Very small change.
I think that sounds like a great RNG change.
I like it. There's not enough RNG in this game. That's what I've been told. Well, GH meandering his way into the enemy jungle, which seems to be in control of his team as of now. Both teams kind of passive. Toby going for a Vlad's, so not prioritizing, at least not yet, the Aghanim Scepter. I mean, on the off-lane Magnus, how fast do you think you should go for something like that?
I don't know.
Mid lane, it was essentially the first item, right? After like a couple bracers.
Part of me just wants him to rush eggs regardless. Like, it really does. But I think he's identifying that the rupture problem is too severe, and he will just aura it up for his team. It's a really clever solution from Nigma here, I think. I can't think of a single thing that would be more annoying to play the mag bus against than rupture.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that he went away from it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good point. We didn't mention the fact that he could just opt not to go for it just because of the Bloodseeker, because Bloodseeker sometimes is just one of those trump cards where he hard counters it here. Like, if I'm playing Pango, that's the hardest counter you can get. Like, it just feels real bad. Miracle, 2 shots to Crystal Maiden.
See ya.
Nice to meet you. And the tier 1 tower looks to be potentially the next target for them, as PA does get the Deso, so this could be a little surprise.
Oh, good combo spells.
Enemy rupture and the swap. You're seeing how much burst damage they actually do. Tanner's very low. The RP does go off, though. Tanner getting healed up thanks to the mech. Still ruptured, of course. Will finally go down with a delayed effect. Will buy back into the game, actually, as Kuroky is going to be the first to fall for his team, potentially. Gets up the magic missile, though, and PA dies with that Desolator intact. And we are going to town on this Tusk, and the buybacks galore again. This could be a disaster for Viking. Toby, with pretty much no mana to speak of, they need to get something out of this buyback from Tanner. They're going for GH, another Pit of Malice, and Weehaw is just doing so much damage this fight. This is going to be a dieback on the Tanner if they're able to actually finish him off. Does have the armlet, so able to keep alive for a little bit longer. Tusk buys back into the game. Going to TP into the shrine as well, but this is a dieback, a triple kill for Weehaw. By far his best game of this qualifiers, and Aramis, despite buying back, is the last member of his team, and it looks like that this is going to be essentially a team wipe. I believe PA bought back into this, so this is a complete disaster for Viking.
What do you mean essentially? That fight ended 8-0. What more do you want?
Why do you have to backseat cast me as well? You backseat Miracle, and now you backseat cast me. Do you have no shame, sir?
I just know you can do better. You know, you gotta...
I hate you so much.
That was actually incredible. Okay, Enigma are starting to look like a tier 1 team again. Like this gameplay is miles ahead of 2 days ago, I want to say.
Yes.
Their spellcasting, the way they draft, the way they play around each other, the way they think about the game. It's like they needed to warm up and get on the same page, and now these games, this is not even close. The last game was pretty exciting and a little bit clowny, and I think largely because of the Magnus Ags, it got to the point it did. And they definitely were still a little sharp around the edges, but man, that fight was very, very well played. They did pretty much everything right. You don't win a fight 8-0 in the enemy mid-tier 1 tower 15 minutes in unless you're doing something right. Like, that's just very well done.
They essentially won the game on that fight. So
basically, yes. It's... quick swap from Kuro.
Finds a Crystal Maiden. And that is goodbye to her again. And Bloodseeker and company should be able to take out this tier 1 without much issue. He's almost done with his BKB now. Yep, things are looking good. And we're at 18.5 minutes, so the outposts are in control of them as well. That's the DD on Miracle. This is scary. Of course, has the Aegis. We didn't mention that Vambrace was picked up. I wasn't sure if he was going to build a second Wraith Band or give it to his friend Underlord with that Bracer, but he did end up combining it for himself. And it's a good item. Very, very good item.
Radiant's top tower.
See if they go for this tier 2 now. It looks like that is going to be the case. I really like their lineup. I think this is the best draft they've had, in my opinion. Just everything feels like it's coming together. Obviously, execution is a big thing as well. But this lineup just, from my brain, Cinderin, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they're making it look super good. You asked me before the game which lineup I liked better, and I just said, like, disregarding what the teams are, I think the Radiant lineup is really good unless they very much make this Bloodseeker work, and they just did, mainly based on the laning stage. Like, the way they put their lanes just put them in such a good position by getting that 1v1 matchup and pressuring the PA in lane, so she couldn't have a game. Like, the PA has basically not even played the game yet. And now it's almost over. It's kind of sad when you think about it. Like, you join the game, you're playing one of your favorite heroes, you have mag and power, you're super excited, and when you're online, you've almost lost. That's rough.
We did talk about that early game. I mean, PA's, I don't know. I feel pretty mad about her overall. Crimson Guard now on the Underlord. Weehaw has that 10-second BKB ready to go. They might try to jump him here, actually. Tanner. Yeah, Weehaw's just going to BKB.
Radiant's middle tower is under
and of course, both outposts for the Dire, and they're going to be getting everything out of this now. As the Halberd finally picked up from Kunkka. I mean, he has a decent amount of farm for his team. That's not the worst, but just haven't felt the impact just because Team Enigma is owning on every level, it feels like.
Time is running out here, and I'm saying that for a Mag PA lineup who historically are really good at coming back from slight deficits, but I think this is too much. And when you're losing control of the map this hard and you're starting to lose every single tower, even if you have Mag PA, I think in this patch, playing very defensively and just trying to farm with this Mag PA is not going to win the game if you give another set of double outpost, 4 bounties, and a Roche to the Dire. Let's see if we even get to that point. The Aegis still has a minute and a half left, so if Miracle wants to try his luck, he could. Go and do something here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But for now, they're just taking every tower. And Blood Rage TA hits real hard.
Oh yeah. It's good stuff. But the good news is Tusk got his 90 gold a minute talent, Cinderin. Doesn't even bother for the XP gain. I mean, they need to get kills for that to actually matter. And they're really struggling on all accounts now. We're going to see a TP in from Tanner, going for the Kuroky kill. And GH is like, I'm just going to farm these creeps. You're fine, right, buddy? Yep, you're fine. And the swap out. And Kuroky is good. Doesn't even need any assistance. That was a potential, that was like a 2-3-man gank on the position 5, and you barely touched her.
You touched her, and then you lost control of the area again and lost the ward that you walked up there to place aggressively. So you accomplished nothing, and you lost the ward, and it only gets worse like that. They are just completely contained.
When you're this far behind, you need to take some crazy risks. And I think a lot of it can come down to the outposts, right? Like maybe the 20, if they can make it this far, but the 25-minute mark, maybe you go for one of these outposts and, you know, go all out, because it can be snowbally for the enemy team if they're able to control it consistently. Like that is These objectives really do matter. Mind control. Very, very tanky. That might not be the target you want to go for. If you had trouble with Vengeful Spirit, I don't think Underlord's gonna really care. By the way, we didn't even mention MKB finish on TA and still has 3k on top. Is mega farmed. And Weeha's finally going some damage now, so Mjolnir next on the list.
Yeah. I don't actually know if that's the best item here, but I think there's a lot of different stuff thinking about, oh, they're all showing on a ward. This is very, very bad positioning right now for Viking. If... Yep, there's the Underlord ulti. They definitely want to fight here. That's a dead maiden.
Here they come. Yep, Miracle gets a nice little one-shot there. And they're going to have to fall back to base. Now, PA, I believe, has BKB at base. I believe the Mithril Hammer should be there. Yeah, okay. So this is probably what they've been waiting for. Not sure if it's going to matter at this point, but it is a very big item. This is when PAs would like to start fighting. The issue is you're down 16k.
And you can get ruptured, because they don't need to reserve the rupture for a Magnus with Ags, so Weeha can specifically target the PA and just ruin her fights. Let's see if there's going to be an attempt on the PA, on the TA. They're just letting Miracle take the full tower. Nobody was even trying to go in here. It's easier said than done, right? But
yeah, it is.
You gotta pick your fight, right? It's not getting easier. Now you just lost a tower and a shrine for nothing. So I think with every passing minute, it's 1 minute later than you should have tried. And there we go. They're going now.
And they might run into... Oh, it might be Kuroky, might be Mind Control. They're going to de-ward a little bit. Yeah, this is pretty much has to be the fight. TA getting initiated on. Nice boat onto 2, actually. Kuroky is going to take the brunt of the damage for now. RP onto just the TA. But the Echo
is ruptured.
The counter. Oh, dear. That is rough stuff. Into the Elder Titan ult as well. As Miracle is just cleaning everybody up. Celery gets his ult canceled pretty much immediately. And this looks to be a 3-0 for Team Nigma. As you remember, they got 2-1'd by Viking yesterday. So this is a complete turnaround. They have
improved so much overnight. They know exactly what they needed to do to change, and that's, you know, that's a class difference thing. They looked at the replays, they looked at their mistakes, and they figured it out. It seems, at least, maybe Viking are also playing a little less sharp today than they did yesterday, and they've been figured out a little bit in draft, but regardless, Nigma's just on a completely different level today. And I think the key thing about the fight we just watched, I don't even know if you had it on camera, but very early on when the fight broke out and Kunkka ran into X, the TA, Weeha was immediately on top of PA and ruptured her. So she was just stuck, you know, she's just standing there at the wards and just looking at her teammates dying. She can't do anything. She can't connect to the fight.
But Kuroky has a Chrysalis, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen this on a position 5 Vengeful Spirit before. Pretty cool, knowing that they're super, super far ahead. Echo's on to 2. Torn onto 3 heroes. Shad comes in with a BKB, but they just have no damage to follow this up with. And TA and company should be able to clean this up quite nicely. Kobe getting help with that boat, but that is 2 dead in the blink of an eye, and the GGs come out. Congratulations to Team Nigma, as they will qualify for the minor in Bukovel, Ukraine. Good series. This one was the biggest stomp, but I enjoyed a lot of these.